Because of this obedience, they will achieve their objectives and they will be successful. These organizers of this auspicious gathering, they gave to me, mashallah, a cover letter, and they also added to that cover letter some points they wanted me to take into consideration, which I have done to the best of my ability. Having taken into that consideration, I'd like to say to you that the problems, challenges, and obstacles facing Muslim women today are staggering and often quite frustrating, compounded by general ignorance, subordination to cultural practices, and subversion by the enemies, the historical enemies of Islam. Now, I want to repeat that because, in my estimation, from a sociological point of view, and this is the perspective that I'm going to be dealing with here for the most part, from a sociological point of view, these are the reasons why such a staggering set of challenges are facing Muslim women today. One, general frustration, compounded by general ignorance. That is, people themselves, they simply don't know, so they are ignorant. A word for ignorant in Islam is called jahil. The opposite of having knowledge, according to the Quran and Sunnah, is jahil. Whether you're following your own feeling, the feeling of somebody else, your own conjecture, or the conjecture of someone else, your own assumption, it is still jahil. Because for it to be based upon correct knowledge, it has to be from the sources of the Quran and from the sources of the Sunnah. Secondly, subordination to cultural practices. I call it cultural baggage. One of the scholars of Islam, he put it another way. He said, today, Islam has been placed inside of a prison. But the prison is not the prison of the unbelievers. We are today reacting to Muslims being put in the prisons of the unbelievers, or the oppression of the unbelievers. But it is Muslims who themselves have placed Islam into a prison, and Islam is trying to come out of that prison, but the Muslims have the key and they won't let it out. What is that prison? It is the prison of cultural practice. So Muslims, they are wearing their culture on the outside, practicing their culture on the outside, and Islam is in the inside. And so what most people see is not Islam. When they see Muslims, they see the culture of the Muslims. And what we are reacting to with each other, for the most part, it is not Islam, it is the culture. And if we do not reverse this trend, if we don't put the culture inside the walls of Islam, you will never find the solution. We will never find the solution. Islam is never meant to be subordinate to people's culture. But on the opposite, people's culture must conform to Islam as the water conforms to this vessel. Thirdly, historically, the enemies of Islam have always polluted, distorted the Islamic message to confuse Muslims and also to dissuade non-Muslims who may be attracted towards Islam. These are three of the major problems and challenges. Nevertheless, these challenges are not insurmountable, nor do they exist in a vacuum. They can be evaluated. They can be diagnosed. They can be harnessed. They can be treated with science and medicine. The science is the science of the Quran. The medicine is the medicine of the Sunnah. However, Muslim women themselves, their husbands, their families, their relatives, they must be willing to make a genuine commitment and enter into a direct allegiance with the